Okay, that's definitely the wrong perspective. Wait a second. That's a little better. Alright, so I messed this up already. Hello everybody, and welcome to to this live stream. It's been quite a while. I hope you can hear me well. And today I would like to work on some music and give you just a little update on where things stand, and we will probably be working on something. But yeah, if you like, ask me anything in chat. We can talk about anything you like. Let me just check if audio is working. I would like to work on some music. Okay, it sounds like there is some kind of weird doubling going on. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, I hope this should be better. Maybe the music is gone. That's the type of stuff I have to check if... I'm so sorry. Just a couple of minutes and we'll really start. I'll give you just a little update on... Ask me anything in chat. We can... Like, there is some kind of weird doubling going on. Yes. Let me see. Just a second. Okay, I hope this should be better. Maybe the music is gone. That's the type of stuff I have to check. Okay, now the music is gone and yeah. So Kali session is here and Cold Smooth is here already. Says hello Felix, I hear your voice twice, or there is a phase issue. Yes, there's a phase issue. I'm trying to work this out right now. We will get through this. I am so sorry. This is so weird. Okay, what could this be? No, that's not it. Let's try this. Okay, I have no idea what's going on and why this is not working. It worked! It worked the last time and now it doesn't work anymore. It is weird. But that's... I'm a little bit of a boomer myself, so... Welcome. Okay, I have no idea what's going on and why this is not working. Yeah, this is totally weird. I hear myself very well on my headphones, but there's some kind of weird doubling going on. I will try to get this fixed. If you're annoyed by this, just if you're watching this afterwards, just skip on for a couple of, I don't know. At some point the sound will be okay. So wait, let's see if the voice we'll get this done. And maybe I have to restart the stream, but maybe not. Who knows? Okay, let's see if the music is working properly. Should be. It worked. Annoyed by this. Just, if you're watching this afterwards, just skip on for a couple of, I don't know. At some point, the sound will be okay. So wait, let's see if the voice we'll get this done. And maybe I have to restart the stream, but maybe not. Who knows? Okay, let's see if the music is working properly. Should be. Yeah, it's weird. The music works. Music is fine, but there's just this weird doubling. Okay, another thing I can try. I had the same issue today working on some tracks where there was just a weird doubling. Okay, I will try to mute this. Now I should be gone. You shouldn't be able to hear me. It worked. And all that is just, watching this output just keep on forwards for a couple of, I don't know. At some point, the sound will be okay. It's weird. The music works. Music is fine, but there's just this weird doubling. I had the same issue today working on some tracks where there was just a weird doubling. Okay, I will try to mute this. Now I should be gone. You shouldn't be able to hear me. Okay, we're getting closer. I can't hear myself anymore, but you can hear me. So that should be fine. Now let's see if the music is working as well. Okay, so I'm just going to assume you can hear my voice now, and yeah, I will have to see why this is happening later. Okay, we're getting closer. I can't hear myself anymore, but you can hear me. So that should be fine. Well, let's see if the music is working as well. Okay, so all right, and now the final test. Will Ableton be working? So playback in Ableton, will this be working? Let's see. Okay, now that's that's a problem because I can't hear this. Ah, okay, that's why. But that makes total sense. Let's choose this output. Okay, if you could hear that, should be good. Just going to. Okay, now that's. Alright, and now the final test. Will Ableton be working? So playback in Ableton, will this be working? Let's see. Okay, now that's that's a problem because I can't hear this. Ah, okay, that's why. That makes total sense. Let's choose this output. Alright, I think we got it. I can't hear my voice, but yeah, that should work. So it only took 16 what the seriously 16 minutes for this thing to work. So hello everybody and welcome. I will probably cut this here. Hello everybody and welcome to this live stream. I am Felix Rösch, Berlin-based composer, and yeah, you're watching a live stream as live as it can be. And here I'm basically taking you behind the scenes into the life of my life as a freelance composer and all that entails. I hope the music is not too loud because I can't hear my voice right now, which should be okay. It should be okay. Something weird is going on with the bitrate here. So I don't know what's happening. Probably somebody is streaming something. But yeah, we will get through this. The most important thing is you asking some questions in chat and I answer. So I think the visual component of the stream might not be the most important thing today. So Cold Smooth is here, right? Uh-oh. It's a little bit like, uh-oh. It's ICQ for the people who remember sound. But nice to have you here, Cold Smooth. It's been a while. Kali Session is here. Kali Session! It's also been a while. Writes, hello Felix, I hear a voice twice, or there's... yeah, we had this. Phase issue is fixed, hopefully. Macy66, hi from the UK. Hello Macy, it's nice to have you. How are you? And Kali Session writes, but everything is okay, I hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm surprisingly okay right now. It's mainly to do with lots of family issues getting sorted out, and I'm finally able to work a little more and work on the new album, and my head is finally filled with melodies and sounds again, and not just with problems, which feels really nice. Melis writes, hello from the UK, Felix. I'm happy to catch you live. How was your day so far? Oh, my day has been... good question. I mean, I've been working on a lot on the new album and on some pieces which I really tend to like more and more, and I can show you afterwards. But I feel like it's so, you know, there's some things coming, and the things I'm producing will be they're okay. I like lots of it, and that feels really good because, you know, I'm kind of my work, and my work is me. So when I'm able to create something and I like what I make, then I'm usually pretty happy. And the family situation is also getting better because, yeah, that's also for those of you who have kids, you might have an idea. But yeah. Melissa writes, now I can see you. Yeah. Oh, it's loading again. Okay, now it's good. I have a lot of questions actually. Yeah, shoot. Just ask me anything you like, really. And I'll try to answer every question you have as well as I can. And again, if the music is too loud or you can't hear my voice too well, just let me know in chat and I will try to fix that. Usually I start my streams with just an update on what's happening, and I'm not quite sure when the last live stream was, but it was quite a while ago, and I went through lots of crises and lots of stuff had to be done, and I had to take care of my partner a little bit and of my children as well, but now for a couple of weeks I've been able to really start to get work again, and that's, like I said, it's good. And finally, I'm now at a point where I think, okay, we can actually start streaming again. Just a little update. I share my screen. I hope this. I'll just turn this down a little bit. So streaming wise, this is like the last year, last 12 months, and it's been pretty good. Like, honestly, taking into account that I haven't released anything for almost a year, it's incredible. Like almost here, it peaked at, I think, almost 50,000 streams a day on Spotify alone, and then there's Apple Music and all the other platforms. But to be fair, Apple Music is the lion's share. That's 90% of what I can, what I get streaming wise. So that's, it's kind of an income that's basically saving me because of my family situation right now. I can't really work in theater productions and just travel. I have to be here at home, and that's something I can do, and I can actually work on that album and not do lots of other jobs I don't necessarily want to do. So I can really concentrate on the album right now, and this is basically giving me the freedom to do that and to work with other musicians, get studio time, and it's really incredible that this is still going strong. And it's mainly due to algorithmic playlists. So people are listening to Olafur Arnolds and then getting recommended, hey, would you like to hear this track from Felix Rösch? So that's pretty nice actually. I'm really thankful. And I don't know what I would do if that wasn't happening. I definitely wouldn't be making music right now. DVS4XN writes, hi from Estonia. Really cool to catch you on stream. You usually can't see your favorite composers. Thank you, I'm flattered. Your favorite composers make stuff live. Yeah. I just like to do these live streams because it also helps me to, I have somebody to talk to while I'm making music. I kind of feel I like having people to connect with, and usually there are wonderful interactions happening live on stream where complete tracks or complete pieces just take shape because somebody made a comment. I remember one of the last live streams where somebody said something about, why don't I just rework something by, what was it, I think Franz Liszt, and with that in mind I improvised something, and one of my favorite tracks actually emerged from that improvisation, which started from that comment I got on stream. And then there are many other examples of where this is actually going kind of both ways, and you actually have a chance to participate and take part in this journey I'm on, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, really. Melis writes, good to hear your situation is going well. Yes, I can relate. I am a parent as well. Yeah, it's tough, especially if you're involved. Like if you really want to be there for your children. And I just today thought, for me this might be 1 year of my life. I'm really, and for them it's their early childhood, which is just so yeah, I think it's important to be there for your children, which seems obvious, but yeah, it's many people aren't or can't, but don't really want to. I don't want to get into this discussion right now, but yeah. Anyway, streaming wise, it's going really well. Followers, it's still rising. 13,000 people following, and just going strong on Spotify, which is wonderful. And there is, apart from that, and Spotify just rolled out a couple of marketing features. For those who don't know, this for example here, this one piece, one month, I simply forgot to turn on one of the marketing features of Spotify. And to be fair, Spotify obviously takes a share of, when they market my music, which you could argue that's a feature they should be providing artists without any compensation, but then again, they need to make a profit and they squeeze their musicians as much as they can. On the other hand, what I'm getting here, like almost 10 million streams in 12 months, I wouldn't have ever gotten anything comparable with what I'm doing. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but I'm really thankful. And holy shit, 167,000 playlist ads. That's so crazy. Anyway, okay. That's where I'm standing right now. And I just started to test a feature on Spotify, which is basically some kind of marketing thing, where they show you, hey, this could be something you like as well. When you open the app, there's this thing opening sometimes. Maybe you know this, and then there's my last album, and people can click on that, and I'm paying, right now I'm just testing it out with 100 euros a month, just to see if it works. They just released this for musicians, so I'm testing this out. Another interesting thing is Marquee, which is basically for new releases, so with a new album that will be coming, or the first pieces that will be coming later this year. Well, that's something worth looking into. And discovery mode is something I've constantly running as well. But yeah. DVS Forex writes, I have a question. How much of your music comes from improvisation? Because it is my favorite way to make stuff. But I wonder how much of a structure you have in creation. Oh, that's a wonderful question. I just realized, I think, a couple of years ago, that this is also my main way to write music, and I love to, what I have discovered is that I love to create some ambient texture which has kind of a rhythmic quality to it, or maybe it doesn't, but some kind of ambient texture with pedals, and then start improvising around that texture. And also you can manipulate that texture as well, right? So it's nothing that's too static, but usually I improvise a lot. And for the new album, I think, I don't know how much I have improvised, but in the end, a lot. And then 1% of these improvisations, or maybe like 5%, okay, let's say 3% are interesting. And then I go through the improvisation afterwards and just cut out these interesting bits. And then I cut this down even more, and even more, and even more. And sometimes, in these improvisations as well, I found that I became more and more, you're kind of digging for something, you're searching for something. And sometimes you find it right away, and sometimes you have to keep on searching, and it's a process, especially if you do it live, which I love to do, live on stream. You have an audience, potential audience. I mean, a couple of, 100 people watch that afterwards, if at all. But still, there are people watching this, and so it's kind of an extra pressure. But it's nice to have this, to be searching for ideas and just digging in yourself and finding melodies and refining them until you have something you could develop later. So I think there's you have to improvise a lot, but you also have to stick to one idea, and if you find something, just circle around it until you have something you can develop later. And sometimes it doesn't work, right? Sometimes you just have to say, okay, this is just bad, let's move on. But like a couple of years ago, I had a tendency to just give up too late, too early, instead of just keeping on searching, developing the idea. But yeah, that's actually what my main process as well. I think for many people it is, and especially with recording technology, you can just hit record and record all your shitty ideas and just hope that there is this 1-3% that is actually really good. And I have no idea how many hours I have been streaming and I've been improvising to just get to this year. This is actually these are 55 ideas out of hundreds of hours of streaming and improvising. 55 ideas, and I've went through them in the last couple of months. This was something I could do, and just try to find some good ideas. Sometimes it's just I would just record it with my smart watch on the piano with my son on my I don't know what this is called, sitting here on my lap, and he was playing something. I was trying to capture this idea, and I just had this recording, and something wonderful developed out of this. And sometimes it was live on stream, and some of these ideas are 2 years old, and some just developed recently, but it's really a long process of just improvising a lot and finding lots of little small ideas, and then you end up with, I don't know, I think there are maybe 15, maybe 20 ideas that are worth pursuing. And yeah, that's actually my main process. So that's a long-winded answer to your question, but I think for me it's the most honest and direct approach. And regarding structure, yeah, that's a problem. I'm not very good at structure. That's maybe a reason why my pieces are very short. But I feel like I'd rather write short pieces that you want to listen to again than writing something that's just, beating a dead horse. I think that's a saying. So I'd honestly rather have people listen 3 times. And that's not just because I get more money streams. It's mainly because I feel like you could say you're incentivized to write short music on Spotify. But then again, that has always been the case, that there has been outer, structure outside of music, which is kind of the financial backing that has always kind of dictated how music is written. So yeah, but I tend to write short pieces, and they can get away with very simple structures, and I don't feel like this is a problem. And very often there's one good idea, and it's quite easy to just have an A, B, A, C form or something like that. I don't develop ideas too much in a way that, like a fugue or a sonata or something more classical forms or compositional techniques. But I don't feel like I have to. And it's not something I gravitate towards. I don't know. I'm just trying to be as much me as possible, and that's just the way to do it. Improvise and then put this into simple patterns and forms, which I think is legit. It's okay. You can't, there are no rules, basically. So, sorry for rambling on for so much. Melis writes, I'm a professional classical musician. Oh, wonderful. I'm composing as well and want to learn to use technology. Any suggestions how to start using it? Yeah, well, that's so something that worked for me, because I this improvisational approach worked so well for me, is to have and also because I'm very, my main instrument is the piano, and it's something I've been playing since I'm 4 years old. My hands don't have to think. It's just ideas keep flowing, and I don't have to do much. And I'm very often surprised at what comes out of that. So my approach was to, and that worked really well for me, is to start at this core of where I can make, where I make the music. And for you, that can be something completely different. Maybe you love to just take a piece of paper and develop ideas in your head and then build it. So your approach to technology might be completely different. But my approach, and that worked really well, was to just use pedals, like these guitar pedals. I can't really, maybe you can see them here. So I just have a bunch of guitar pedals hooked up to my piano through a mixing console. And if you're interested in how I set that up, there was a live stream where I explained it in detail, but I'm not quite sure which one it was, and there are many live streams. But if you like, shoot me a message on Instagram or an email or whatever, and we can talk about that further. But yeah, I'm just using pedals to manipulate the sound and to create some kind of backdrop, an ambient texture, and which usually turns out to be kind of interesting. And it's a little bit uncontrollable, but that's kind of the beauty of it, I think. And then I just improvise on top of that, and just take it from there. That's one approach. Something else that works is just, using a synthesizer. What I love to do is just using things I can touch. So I'm not using plugins as much. I used to, but I don't do anymore because I like this tactile. Just have something in the real world I can touch and then move knobs and work with that. So I would, it really depends on where you're coming from. I hope I answered the question a little bit. Hey, Nikki Wells. Hi, nice to have you. Ask, hi Felix, such a fan. Thank you. Looking forward to hearing the new work. Yeah, it might take some time, but I'm working on it. Maybe we can hear some stuff today as well. I get it when you said about live obstacles getting in the way of creating music. How do you deal with making space to write music? It's tough sometimes. Sometimes I just can't. And then I get depressed and sad and angry. But sometimes you just can't. That's just how it is. And then even if you have 1 hour to make music, it took me 3 weeks now where I could just make music until I'm now at a point where I'm like warmed up again and feel like I'm starting to get into the productive zone of I'm really creating something now. So it's I don't know, it's hard. I don't really have any, there are priorities in life, and if I have to choose between the well-being of my partner and of my children and making music, I will most of the time choose their well-being, and that's just hard decisions you have to make. But yeah, I mean, it took months, really, quite a long time. But because there was this urge to create all the time, I have this all the time. At some point, at this point right now, I managed to just create the space, and then. My youngest son is now, or my youngest child is in kindergarten right now, and it's going okay. And so I have a couple of hours a day, and maybe in the evening, where I can work. And I mean, what also helps is usually I was too tired in the evening to work, and then also want to spend time with my partner in the evening as well. So, but yeah, the more I create, the more I feel like I'm onto something, and because you also have to do that, right? We can work for 1 hour and you just create some shitty stuff, and it just doesn't work, and then you're frustrated and you stop again, which I think happens to everybody. But then if you spend 20 hours working, there might be this 1 hour where you actually created something wonderful, and that just shines over all the bullshit before that, and that motivates you to actually start up again. And that's what just happened to me. But I don't know. It's really hard. I think you have to just make a. Maybe that's something to even if it's hard, to just find 1 hour in your day somewhere regularly where you make music and just hope for this one moment where you feel like you actually created something that gets you fired up again, in a way that like I'm doing now. I'm back to live streaming, and I hope I will be for the next couple of weeks. But it's tough. It's a tough job. It's a tough industry, and also a beautiful industry, and it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, I'm making music, just finding truth and trying to communicate that as eloquently and precisely as I can. And it's just, I mean, I end up getting paid for that. So what? It can be pretty beautiful as well. Yeah. Okay, Nikki Wells writes, like, is there a certain time of the day you sit at the piano to improv and get into a focused space to create? So for me, what helped me was to have these live streams, and to like earlier when I was still like in the beginning of this year and ending last year. And just to say, I have these live streams once a week, at least once a week, where I improvise for 20 minutes to an hour. At least once a week, have these improvisations. And usually there was one idea which was kind of interesting enough to just spark some curiosity for me to develop this idea a little more. Or to have put it into a drawer where I know, okay, there I have this drawer full of interesting ideas I want to explore. So maybe it's I don't know, for me it's, I feel like a sense of Verbindlichkeit. I have to see what Verbindlichkeit means. It's something you have to do. Verbindlichkeit, English. No, that's the language barrier. Liability. Verbindlich. Okay. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Bindingness. Okay, let's see. Some kind of obligeness, liability, obligation. Obligation is the word I'm looking for. Some kind of obligation if there are people watching, even if it's just 1 or 2 or 3. And if people have been asking me, hey, when will be the next live stream? So that kind of helped me to say, okay, I need to do a live stream again, and I need to improvise. So that was, but I'm pretty sure that your structure will look, or your motivation will look different. But I think it helps to have some kind of schedule, or some kind of, when you say like every Monday morning I will take 2 hours, every Wednesday evening I will take 2 hours and just improvise or something like that. Then Michael Roy writes, hey Felix, I became a big fan of yours after hearing Fragmente. Thank you so much. It's so beautiful that so many people of you are here. Love your blend of orchestral and electronic instruments. Hope you play in Vancouver, BC one day. I hope so too. I'm always saying I'm planning on touring, but I really, really want to. And yeah, Canada is definitely one place to go. Wait, Vancouver is Canada, right? I hope so. I hope so. Take care. God bless. Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, it's wonderful to hear that. Yeah, there have been some people contacting me who would like to help me plan a tour, and I really, really want to do that. So it will happen. I promise it will happen. I'm not quite sure when. I wanted to do this later this year, but that's going to be a little tough, but it will happen. And Melis writes, yes, I'm like that too. I like working things that I can touch, and yes, it was really helpful. Thank you. Okay, that's great to know. What inspires you for your music, Felix? Well, often it's very often it's just music I'm hearing from other composers, to be honest. So there's like Caroline Shaw. It's a wonderful composer. I would love to play her music here live on stream, but I think I'm not allowed to. But if you can, go to Spotify, Caroline Shaw. Yeah, it's really, really wonderful music. I also do have a playlist with all my favorite pieces. I've kind of condensed into this one playlist. At this point, almost 10,000 people follow this playlist, which is also pretty insane. But you know, whenever I find something that really inspired me and was really special, I just put it into this playlist, and there's at this point 100 something pieces. And I've been, you know, creating this over 10, 15 years of my career. So even way back when I wasn't making music for my own pleasure, I also collected these pieces, from Morton Feldman to Caroline Shaw, Judd Greenstein, you know, some John Adams as well, because he kind of got me started. Meredith Monk, and yeah, lots of very interesting pieces, I think. You know, that actually inspires me as well. But also, yeah, my family and little moments with my children that kind of spark ideas what something could be about, because that's something my life revolves around that a lot. So yeah, all the little conflicts and emotional, yeah, like my children and other people's music, to be honest. It's what inspires me most. DVS4XN writes, what do you think about the music of Pert, if you have heard of him, by the way? Oh yeah, of course. He's our favorite composer here from Estonia and a great friend of mine. Oh, he is? Wonderful. Well, okay, that's wonderful. Well, he's one of the main reasons I thought that contemporary music is actually interesting, or can be interesting. Of course, he's in this minimalist, or yeah, I think hearing his music, I felt like an I don't know, kind of an eye-opening moment where I thought, okay, you can write music today that's actually beautiful and meaningful and simple and clear, and it's just it's one of a kind, I think, and really special. And I have to be really careful not to copy, not to steal from him too much, which I think many people fall into this kind of trap, because he's so like gravity well. I'm always gravitating towards, and there are other gravity wells like Radiohead and Caroline Shaw right now, and so once you've tried to navigate that, but yeah, he's a huge influence. And one thing I have to say is that, and that was something I studied, or I was in a composition class in university, at music university as well, and one of the professors, and they were like very German, neue Musik, very academic music, so very dissonant, very like that. And they said, yeah, it's kind of interesting, but it gets boring after a while. And I have to agree that some pieces feel a little bit long. So I think some pieces I think could be just a little shorter. And just for me, that's what I meant with I'd rather have a shorter piece that I can listen to again and again, than something that's feels a little bit too drawn out. But then again, that comes from my listening habits as this digital native, with a bazillion pieces of music I can listen to at an instant. So I think this is actually music made for the concert hall, where you just sit and you kind of contemplate this. You're sitting in a room with people around you, with musicians performing, and I think that's something different. I think music that's performed in this space can be or should be different because it's just a different form of, you know, listening to music. So yeah. Nikki Wells writes, thanks for answering. Sending love and hope. Life offers you the right balance, which I totally can get. Can be tough. Yef. Yeah, I hope so too. Well, that's the next thing. I had a plan for writing this next album, and then because we're going to change the kindergarten with the kids, I will have to do the Eingewöhnung, it's called. So you take your child to the new kindergarten, and then you have to be there with them and stay for the whole time, and then maybe you're away for 5 minutes, then next day you're away for 10 minutes, and if it works out, you'll be away for 1 hour, and if that works out. But that's a process that usually takes 2 to 3 weeks, and we have 2 children which will go to the new kindergarten, so that's about 6 weeks taken off of my calendar that I wanted to work on that new album. So that's away, that's gone. There the Kita will be closed, so all these red things here are days I can't be working on that new album, and the green days are days I can be working on that album. So yes, as you can see, this there's not much time to work on that new album, so I will have to find some time around that. And yeah, I had a plan. This was my plan here, to release the first single on the 1st of November. So the single will have to be completely done with everything in September, end of September. So I hope I can still manage that, but it should be possible. So I have another 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I can actually work on this. So I have to be really on point with what I do. But yeah, I hope I can find enough time as well. Thank you so much, Nikki. It's really nice of you to say. Michael Roy writes, lol, yep, Vancouver is in Canada. Okay, thank you. I mean, sometimes there are cities that are called New York or Berlin, which are actually in the United States or something. And I mean, obviously New York is in the United States, but I think there might be a New York in the United States, which is not the big New York, but some small town in Colorado, something. I don't know. I have no idea, but that's just what I thought. Nico Perez writes, what mics do you use stereo on your uprights? Also, do you use any compression? Yes, I do. Behind the piano, I'm using the KM184 of Neumann in kind of a ORTF setting, very close mic'd. And I have some, I would like to show you. Well, actually, I can't show you. You know what? I will just show you. All right. Let me take you on a journey through the studio. So, that's kind of the effect pedals. Wait, this might be... Yeah, anyway. That's what I'm using. I can actually make a video about that someday. And then there is this microphone, which is a very cheap Rode NT something. It's that was a present. And then there is this microphone, which is a Brauner Phantom Classic, I think. That was also a present for an internship I did at Brauner. And then behind the piano, there is these KM184s, and they're fairly close to the piano. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to... Alright. Fairly close to the piano. And yeah, I'm usually adjusting the position every now and then. And behind that, there is lots of foam to just absorb as much as possible to just have a very dry sound from behind the piano. But yeah, that's my setup. And I mean, it's okay. I'm considering changing out the microphones in front of the piano for some AKG something, But that's again a couple of €1,000, and I don't have that right now. so yeah, but that's the setup. Nico Perez writes, also, hi, hope you are well, man. Yeah, thank you. I'm okay. I'm okay. And like I said in the beginning, it's really nice to finally have my head not just be filled with worries. And there's a funny thing when I feel like there's. Let me start here. Was taking care of my son most of the time, and I would just walk around with him through our flat and just make up stupid little songs like, and now we're making the dishes, da 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 da, like, and just kept developing these little songs, and at some point my head was filled with these stupid, not useless. I mean, they were kind of cute, but most of the songs were just kind of stupid. My head was filled with that, and I feel like I have this need to create some music. And if I'm not sitting on at a piano and have my synthesizer in my studio, I'm just still creating something, but it's kind of trash. And then your head is filled with this trashy songs all the time, and you have keep on hearing that and developing that in your head, and you're thinking like, what am I doing? And it feels bad in a kind of. I mean, it's nice because you're kind of writing little pieces for. No, but not. It's not. It wasn't even for my son. It was just like stupid little music pieces. And right now, my head is filled with melodies and harmonies and music ideas for this new album, and something I feel is honest and true, and and that feels really, really good. And it's like I'm connected to something, a part of me that I missed for a long time, and that feels really good. Melis writes, yes, transition time for a new school. It can take a bit of time. Yes. Yeah, in this case, it's not a new school, but a new kindergarten. And I think for the little one, it will be easier than for the big one. But yeah, it's we have to be there for both of them, and just, I think that's the most important thing, to show them that we are there for them, and we try to make this as easy and as it possibly can be, and that just takes time. And maybe it will be 1 week with first child, and it will just work really like this, and in 1.5 weeks I can work again. But yeah, I think 3 weeks is something that should, and it can even be 5 weeks or more. It's also possible, right? But yeah, still, my plan is to at least have one single done at this point, and a second single done 5 to 6 weeks later, and then a third, and so on. And I have a couple of pieces I'm working on, and I think this will work, but it's the whole album will never be done by the end of this year. It will just take at least half a year, maybe, at this tempo. Maybe less if I really have a little more time. But we'll see. DVS 4XN writes, do you make music with modular synth, maybe virtual Eurorex like VCV? Seems like a really interesting thing to integrate with the piano. I considered that, and then I mean, that's a whole new rabbit hole to get into once you start with this modular things. I wouldn't use synthesizer solutions for that, software solutions for that, because I feel like one of the main reasons for me to I just need to be able to touch things and just physically have something in the real world I connect with. And I think as a composer you have to be really careful with how many options you would like to present yourself, or you would like to have, because obviously it's nice to have lots of tools, but it's also limiting, and it's I think it's sometimes better to work with with a very small set of tools and just see what you can come up with. And if these are tools you're resonating with and you feel comfortable with, I don't know, it works for me. And with modular synthesizers, I very often had when I got the chance to play around with them, was that for me the problem was that it took me too long to find something I really liked, and I had too little intuitive control. So with I have a Rev 2, the Prophet Rev 2 here, which is, it's for me the perfect balance between I know what I'm getting when I'm doing something, and it's not too complicated, but it still mixes and blends very well with lots of stuff. And this, for example, what you're hearing right now, is one of my favorite pieces. It was just an improvisation with the Rev 2, and it took me two minutes to write this. And it's really I just have a stereo sum of this with everything in one, and there was an advertisement campaign that wanted to use this piece, and they did in the end, and they wanted to have stems so they could just use the sounds a little better. And I had to say I don't have stems. I just press record on a stereo recording track, and that's it. So I feel like, especially when the synthesizers have a keyboard and it's a package I can just work with. I don't know. I feel like modular synthesis has been just too big of a beast to attack, and I still feel like there's enough to explore within this simpler synthesizer world, combined with all the effect pedals. But yeah, maybe one day I will get tired of this. Maybe after this album, and I will have to explore new things. And modular synthesis might be something, but then I would probably start with real modules. And then again, that's expensive. So that's also always a factor. I don't have that much money. Nico Perez writes, "Thank you so much for showing." Yeah, you're welcome. Macy66 writes, "Yes, I love this piece." Yeah, me too. It's one of the few pieces where I think I will probably never write something like that again. With many other pieces, I'm like, yeah, what's happening? I'm like, okay, I can create something else on this level, but this one was just, I don't know. And I still remember thinking, should I record this? Should I press record? Or should I just improvise a little without recording? And then at some point I said, okay, now that's actually pretty good. I'll just press record. And yeah, that's sometimes it just takes 2 minutes. But then again, it also takes the 500 hours around that to just get to these 2 minutes. DVS Forks and writes, "How do you go about releasing music? I feel like making music is really fun for me, but it's impossible to put something out or feel like it's enough. Have you ever felt it and gotten over it?" Yes. Man, what I can tell you is just release something you're 70% comfortable with, and think that's like 70% there of where I think my music should be, and just release it and see what happens. Pitch it through the Spotify for artists, if you're aiming for Spotify, right? More than just a couple of people just don't want to release on Spotify, but if you can, just release it. If you think it's half decent. For example, this track right now, I think it's okay, Vienna. Also with another thing with Berceuse, I thought this was okay. I kind of liked it. It was what I just said, like 70%. It's okay, and I still think it's not bad. It's kind of a catchy melody, and the harmonies are kind of Thomas Newman, but that's fine. And I like this pad in the background, so I thought, okay, that's okay. Let's release it. Let's see what happens. And then this is what mainly pays my rent right now. This piece, and many people like it a lot. And who knew? I mean, right? And then there are other pieces I also like a lot, like Driven, which I really like. And that's also doing okay. I think I like this much more than Berceuse, but hey. So what I'm trying to say is, you never know. You never really know. I mean, you can trust your instinct and say, okay, that's kind of okay. And as long as you're fine with something, I would just release it and see what happens. And yeah, I think you would. And then obviously you need some kind of good cover, and you need like a biography and all that stuff. But I think I would just that's what helped me to just do it and not think about it too much and think about what other people think about that. And just if you trust yourself that you can say this is like 70% of where I want to have the music I want to make, then just release it, and you'll get better. You'll continuously get better and improve, and obviously if it's not like 70% there, then just leave it and work on something else. But yeah, if you're too critical, you will never release anything and will never know where you could be and what could have happened. So hey Sarah, hi, it's nice to see you. Sarah, yeah, nice to see you. By the way, no pressure. For those who don't know, Sarah is a wonderful person, and we have been talking about because I kind of English is not my native language, and I kind of struggle with putting things into words, as you might have guessed by now, sometimes. And she's a writer, very talented writer, and we will definitely work together in some capacity. We started working together, but it was kind of, I think we went too big. I think we went too big, and we need to start a little smaller. But it's nice to have you here, Sarah. It's nice to have you. How are you? Macy writes, "It's simple and yet captivating." Yeah, this exactly. I mean, I think you're talking about. This is the rework, and actually the rework of this improvisation is, for me personally, the piece I'm the most proud of I've ever created. I know not everybody agrees, but still it's number 2 in streams, so that's what I'm really happy about. But that's mostly because some beautiful person at Spotify featured this for well over a year now. In a wonderful playlist called, let me see, Dark Academia, I think it's called. And I also very much there, Dark Academica Classical, and I very much see myself in this realm as well. So yeah, that's actually where if I had to choose a playlist I want to be featured on all the time, it's probably this. And there's also a light academia, like a more happy version of this, which I also kind of like. So that's mainly the reason I think why this piece is on here. It got this many streams. Melis writes, "My 9-year-old daughter loves your orchestral album." Oh, okay. I like that too. She choreographed a dance for it. Oh, really? Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. I think I hope what you're talking about is, and that was something I've been working on for so long. Is this the Orchesterverhandlung? It's very different to what I'm doing today. But I'm also very proud of this. I'm very proud of this as well. And it's more. It was in kind of this dubstep era. It's a little bit later, but it's still. And I actually recorded that with a real orchestra. I was conducting the film orchestra in Babelsberg. Did lots of little recordings in studio sessions with soloists. this. I like this a lot. But you know, it's something. It didn't get that much attention, and there were other things I equally liked doing that were more successful. And in the end, I want to have an audience, and this is something I will probably always do something like that. And also, if you. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. And I mean, what I did for this was I created a very complex score and recorded just parts of this, and then I rearranged them and re-recorded and reused and transformed every single sample of this and put the whole score together, but differently. It was a weird, long process. But yeah, I'm still really proud of this. So I'm really happy that some people really like this, and I'm every now and then getting people contacting me and saying, "Oh, this is so nice." Yeah, it is, but it's really just like kind of a very niche thing. I still loved creating this, and I'm still proud of it. And it's really nice that your 9-year-old daughter choreographed this. I hope it was this. Monsignor Canel writes, "Hi Felix, what do you think about Spotify's AI artists dominating the editorial playlist, which has been much talked about these days?" Actually, I didn't quite follow that. And AI art, by AI artists, you mean artists with artificial generated music. I think that's a big topic, and I feel like when I meet with other musicians, we will always at some point end in this AI discussion. It's always kind of like a funnel, and at the end we will always be talking about AI and music, because I mean, obviously it's one of the dominating things and structural transformations we're going through as a society, I think. I mean, one of the many things, but I think. I mean, I don't know much about this discussion about Spotify and AI artists in general, but I think the overall idea is that Spotify probably pushes artists which have AI-generated music for purpose, stuff like. And I mean, to be honest, my music also gets listened to a lot by people who are just working or studying or painting, so just music for purpose. I think. Wait, let me show this video. I hope I can show this video. I hope I can find it. There's a video that explains the whole thing pretty well. Plastic kitchen, something 60s or something, 60s. Plastic kitchen, new. I hope I can find this. No, okay. Well, okay. There's kitchen. Let's see. Maybe it was. There was a video of sometimes from the 60s or something inside the 1950s kitchen. Where they, plastics. I'll just explain what happened. So this is basically a video of this 1950s, 1960s woman in the kitchen, obviously, but how else should it be in the 60s? Showing you the kitchen of the future, and plastics just came around and just revolutionized everything, and people were just, there was this new technology. There was plastic, and everything was plastic. And she shows you every cup is made of plastic, and this kitchen counter is made of plastic, and even everything was of plastic. And they celebrated this as some kind of look into the future of the kitchen and the future of the kitchen with, you know, the 60s housewife in this completely plastic kitchen. And I think the same thing is happening with AI right now. So everybody is thinking there's this hype around this, and I think there is obviously, I mean, look around you in the room you're sitting in, there are lots of pieces where, you know, your computer or your whatever, you know, microphones, this speakers, there's lots of plastic pieces everywhere, but still in my kitchen I don't want to have a plastic tablet or something, or plastic spoons. I want something out of metal because it's just nicer, it feels nicer. And I think this is the way where we're heading to. So there will be some music which is just purpose built for relaxing. You're in a spa somewhere and there's just music in the background to help you relax, and an AI can do this job probably better than musicians. Equally as well. Like this music just, you know, while you're getting a massage, you know. And I think Amazon has already kicked off most of this music for relaxation stuff from their platform to replace that with AI generated music, because they could actually prove that this was not just financially more beneficial to them, but also that an AI was actually better. Like, you could actually measure this in creating music that helped people relax. So I think there is a place where AI will replace musicians, especially in this realm of music that's just in the background somewhere for some kind of special purpose, where, you know, or you just shopping, or maybe shopping is better, but I think especially this music as helps you sleep or helps you relax and stuff like that, and maybe lots of other places as well. And then I think there is, on the other hand, will be a need for like with my I don't know what's teller with. I don't want to have a plastic spoon. I want to have a nice like spoon out of metal, or a fork or whatever. There is music that will be where I think at least 50% of music is, for me at least, is this connection I have with people. I'm looking for something true and honest, and for like this human experience filtered through my personal experience. I can communicate to you and find some truth and try to communicate that as eloquently and as precisely as I can, and somebody else in 5 years, or now, or in 50 years, or in 500 years will listen to that and think there is some truth in there, some human experience I can relate to. And this form of communication is something that's inherently human and that we need, and that can't really be replaced, because because it's not human in the end. It's not a real experience. I think that's a huge part of music, and that's something that will always be there. So as soon as you start really listening, and a big part of that is also live concerts. You're going to a place where there's this person in front of you, the real person in front of you making music, and people are sitting around you in this performative space, and you're all in this kind of primal setting where I think all our ape forefathers, when we were still apes sitting around a fire, everybody just banging a drum together, and I have no idea how, but I think there's this very human need for connection, for communicating, and music is one way of communicating this emotion and bringing people together, and that's something an AI generated music will not be able to do. I mean, you can also just go to a concert and see music is much more than just the notes and the all that stuff. So and that's something an AI maybe able to imitate, but in the end it's just like a plastic spoon. It works, and if you for certain purposes it's perfect. It's much better than other stuff. I don't want to have, I don't know, think of something that was made with plastic and is now just much better. We're much better off with some parts that are made of plastic. But yeah, for me this analogy works pretty well in thinking about AI and music. Because I feel like this. Yeah, I'm just repeating myself right now. So I don't know. It's yeah. I hope I answered your question. What do you think about this, Monsieur Carnel? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Sarah, it's doing great. Loving the stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think this will mainly be a stream where I'm answering and talking to you people, and basically a Q&A. I'm not sure if we will get to making music today. Still, I would love to show you some stuff I'm working on right now, and that will be probably one of the first singles, but we'll see. Melis writes, yes, this one. We just love it. We max the sound when we're listening to it. Oh, that's beautiful to think, to know. Thank you so much, Melis. It's really, every time I think of my Orchester für Fremdling, no, I'm thinking of you and your daughter listening to that. And it's really nice because a lot of work went into this in every second. There's also, there's one Easter egg that there are lots of Easter eggs actually. There are lots of Easter eggs in this. So maybe some of you, I'll okay, I'll just give you 2 Easter eggs in this. There is one part. Wait, maybe I can find that. I was conducting the orchestra. Wait, and there's this. I'm not sure if it's there. No, it's not there. Anyway, where I dropped the baton, like the stick you conduct with, and it fell out of my hands, and the orchestra was laughing. And I was really embarrassed and ashamed at that moment. So I had to pick it up, and there is. I put that part. I put that in the recording. I'm not sure anymore where. Where was this? Ah man, I can't remember. Was it in Enter? Oh, another thing. Man, there's so much in this music. Seriously, every second I spend at least 1 hour with every couple of seconds in this. So, wait. Me and my partner, we've been together since like 2009, so quite some time. But there was a point in 2016 where we actually were we split up for 1 year, and I was in a relationship with another wonderful person, and we both were in the woods here around Berlin. It's just doing. And we're recording some just trees crackling and sounds like that. And at some point she was sighing. And I just pitched it up a little and put it in there. That was one thing. And wait, I'm trying to find this orchestra. That's it. That's the sound. In Enter at 1:24, 25 something. You can hear the orchestra laughing and me dropping this stick. Yeah, and the thunder in the background. So yeah, there's lots of this stuff in there. I just spent a lot of time making this and thought, wow, when I release this, everybody will be like, wow, what have you created there? That's wonderful. I will become world famous. That was what I thought. And when I released this, I got like 100 streams, something that's so this was a little bit underwhelming, but yeah. Normal Post writes, hello, hey, nice to see you. How are you? Monsieur Canal writes, actually, I have phrased it wrong. I think it would be more accurate to say fake profiles. Ah, okay, I know what you mean. They take up 90% of the classical music playlists. No biography, no profile photos. They might not even be a real person. An artist named John Rösch is said to have created music for Spotify piano playlists using 652 pseudonyms on behalf of Spotify. The reason why there hasn't been as much placement in the classical playlists lately. Yeah, that's something that's probably really happening. I've heard of that. And it's been going on for years. I think the first articles you've seen about that were years ago. Yeah, I think that's just a way for Spotify to get around paying paying lots of money to people, getting millions of streams on these playlists. Where, let's be honest, I mean, also if I look at my audience, and I'm kind of in this realm, right? If I look at my audience, and that's something wonderful that Spotify provides us as artists, Spotify for artists. My active audience is actually just 1%. So 1% of my audience, of these 250,000 monthly listeners and of these 3 million listeners in my total audience, just 1% is active. And active means they have added my pieces to their playlists. They keep on coming back to my profile, and and 8% were previously active, and just 91% are just programmed audiences. So they listen to my music on a playlist somewhere in the background, or through autoplay, or radio. I think radio is one of the most important sources for my plays. And with other artists in other genres, this looks much different. So they might have not 1% active audience, but like 10%. Interesting thing as well is, if you look at that 1%, they are actually responsible for 35% of my streams, which is also pretty nice actually. And the 10% previously active are 10%. So this 1% is really active and really important. But yeah, it's so if there's, they might have Spotify might have figured out that there is a need for music that is just playing in the background, and this will be something people listen to when they go to sleep, but they are not particularly interested in the artist itself, or him or herself. And yeah, then they just had this guy, Johann Röhr, maybe somebody else, or several people who just write for them under some alias, and just put that on their playlists. What I also wanted to show you though is wait, we can actually have a look at this, because there's this what's this called? Peaceful piano. I mean, this is still a little older now at this point. Let's see, who is this person with 1.4 million plays? Yeah, that's probably exactly what you're talking about, right? Person, 1.4 million monthly listeners, so that person is probably would be making $14,000 every month, but just has 7,300 followers, and that's just wrong. Doesn't happen. And this number one spot on this playlist, so the person that will get the most plays. So I'm pretty sure that Janet Rösch does not exist. This is some other artist. Yeah, I think it's just a sad reality of the the world we live in, where this kind of music. I mean, and to be honest, I still like this approach more than Amazon Music just getting rid of this entirely and just saying, okay, we'll just replace this with some AI-generated piano music, which, to be fair, wouldn't probably work as well, because still you need some craftsmanship, and you need some, both in terms of compositional craftsmanship and audio-wise, it needs to really be, needs to be a certain quality standard that you need to reach, and that's, I think AI can't quite, at least yet, create that. But yeah, I think that's how it is. And with but I still feel, and one thing, that's the reason why I wanted to look this up, was, let's look at the credits. Exactly. So source is Janet Rösch. So there is no big label behind this. So it's just the person. And that probably goes back to Spotify themselves. So they won't be paying for that, or they have paid a person. But what I wanted to look at here is, let me see, one big playlist that I'm getting on, that I'm getting added to, and that has started my career on Spotify. It was not quite classical. And I think there is this place where, and it's still growing. If you look at this playlist here, this is one of the playlists that actually gets people in this classical, I don't want to say neoclassical world, but it's let's say neoclassical world, gets them, started, like an entry level playlist, or maybe even a little more than that. And if you look at that, there is 76% is other labels. So, in just as a side thing, like the major labels just control like 22% is Universal, and Sony is just 2% of that playlist. So about 3/4, 75% is still independent. And from these independent labels, you have Moderna Records, you have like real labels that are. Wait a second. Yep. Okay. 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 I have to cut this a little short. But yeah, what I wanted to say is, wait a second. Oops. No, I wanted to go there. Let's go to this again. What I wanted to say is, there is lots of space on these playlists that is actually from real independent artists. So I would, depending on the playlist, obviously. I mean, there are others we could look into, like what's another one? Cloud gazing. Gazing. Yeah. It's another Spotify playlist. Let's look at how it looks here. Same thing. Even better. Like 85% is independent, and then you have lots of small labels which are real labels and not fake persons. So I think, really depending on the playlist. There might be playlists. Let's look at Peaceful Piano. Peaceful Piano. Not an artist. The playlist. Okay. Wait, let's just look at playlists. Yeah. Let's see. So this is obviously, and other labels. Okay, 97% other labels. Chill Palm, Spirit Show, Calmlands. Okay, this actually still looks Moderna Records. I've been in contact with them. This is a real label. Score. So in the end, this, obviously, these look like people which are actually might be one of these fake artists. But still, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's really a majority. It's definitely a part of that, but I don't know. I would argue that this is not entirely true. Melis writes, really, I'm definitely going to tell this story to my daughter. Yes, please do. Monsieur Canal writes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. There are hundreds of like that. Yeah. Just like I said, you would have to actually examine that and see. I think there are certain playlists where this is more prevalent than others, and there is. The space is small, but there is space for real independent artists on Spotify playlists. Jan Sturm writes, good evening. Yeah, good evening. Nice to see you. I think I actually have to end the stream today, because we still have to do some stuff here. Nonetheless, I'm going to play you one track I'm working on right now, which are 2 tracks. I'm just going to play the beginning of it. I hope you can hear them. That will probably be just the beginning of it, because I really like it. I'm still waiting for the cello parts to be recorded and stuff like that, and the strings. But this will probably be the first single I will be working on for the next couple of days. I'm just going to talk over that, I'm afraid. As a creator, it's best that we don't think about these things and focus on creating, of course. But on the other hand, it's bad to have such unfair competition in a place where we can add what we do. Yeah, I think that's in the end we're kind of little fish to. We should unionize. Every artist on Spotify and all these streaming platforms should join one union, and then we would have some leverage. But as of now, that's not how it goes. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but it's like it is. And there's still a string arrangement I'm waiting for. That will be added here. So that's one. Another one I really like right now is this one. This is really good. This won't be the first single, but so I basically just took a couple of tracks. There will also be some strings added to this. Yeah, I like this track so much. But yeah, there still needs to be a lot of work done, and there are 7 others which are also really good, and I will focus on these 8 for now. So I have 8 singles which will be released, and I will be working on these tracks on stream in the future, but I will have to end the stream right now because we need to spend our evening here. Anyway, it was a lovely time to it was really nice to have you all here. Liz writes, it was lovely to catch you live. Thank you. Have a lovely rest of your day, and peace sounds intriguing. Thank you so much. Looking for Macy66 writes, looking forward to see how they develop. Sounds good so far. Thank you. Yeah, I think there's still lots of stuff to do. There are other pieces which are also really nice. I'm a little bit in love with some of these pieces, so that's a good feeling. That's very good. All right. Jan Sturm writes, good stuff, Felix. Thank you so much. Yeah, I will need to end this stream now. I will try to stream again next week. Probably not in the evening because it's actually a bad time. So more in the morning. But yeah, still, thank you everybody for being here, and see you soon. Stay safe. Sarah writes, thank you so much for the stream. Have a great evening. Thank you. You too, everybody. See you.